Hi everyone, it's Adrian. This is going to be a walkthrough of the Animal Tarot cards by Doreen Virtue and Radleigh Valentine. I've been using this deck a lot lately. I did get it on my birthday, so that was a little over a week ago, but since then I've been using it consistently. I've also been gravitating towards animal decks a lot, so this really spoke to me. But I was hesitant on getting this deck because Doreen Virtue's tarot decks have interpretations on the cards, and I don't usually get decks like that. In fact, this is my first tarot deck that has this. So, since this is going to be a one-handed presentation, I took apart the box and the cards are out as well as the book. So this is the top of the box. You can see that this deck is going to be larger. Her tarot decks are about the size of an oracle, and they are thick too. This is a Hay House published deck. I'm not sure when next year Doreen Virtue's name is going to be off of her decks, but I know it's sometime next year. So this is actually the Queen of Spring, the Queen of Wands, since they do use seasons in this deck. The Giraffe is the Hanged Man, and I know there is another one. This is the Five of Summer, the Dragonfly too. And the inside is a pretty peachy color with a butterfly in it. So the back of the box has the same design. There's a continuation of the Queen of Wands or the Queen of Spring on the sides. This is the Empress card, which is an Angora rabbit, and sorry, my nose is itchy. This is the King of Autumn, the King of Pentacles. I did get this at Barnes & Noble, so it was full price. I usually get them online, but it was on my birthday, so I figured I would purchase this. I'm so happy that I did because I fell in love with the images on the cards. They're so cute, and it's what I would want an animal deck to look like, to be honest. So some angels have 4 legs and fur. In case some people have a hard time reading it, I'll read what it says on the back. Animals are unconditionally loving and authentic, genuine in expressing their feelings. That's why these healing angels are sent to open our hearts to giving and receiving love. They're also teachers who guide us to be present and aware. Doreen Virtue and Radleigh Valentine, who are vegan and vegetarian respectively, and both avid animal lovers, advocates, and rescuers, bring gentle messages from God's creatures great and small. From polar bears to deer mouse, the mini poodle to the Saint Bernard. In this deck of animal tarot cards, each card features gorgeous illustrations of domestic or wild animals filled with inspiring symbolic imagery. The companion guidebook shows you how to give accurate readings, an accurate reading with expanded meanings listed for each card. As with all Doreen Virtue and Radleigh's decks, the animal tarot cards are universally positive, loving, respectful to your spiritual path and joy. Angel Therapy, cover illustrations, Radleigh Craig, box design, Brian Starr, best printed ethically in China. I like that, it says ethically here. So, I know that it mentions universally positive, loving, and respectful, which I do agree with Doreen Virtue's decks. I would say that a lot of people feel that her decks are one-sided with just being positive. I could see where they're coming from, but when I got this deck, I did feel more of a groundedness, being more leveled, so there is a balance to it for me. And it isn't, even the I would say the not so positive cards that people would generally think that are not so positive. I feel like any card in the deck can be a positive card. It does give you more of a lesson rather than making it seem like everything's all right for a lot of the cards. So I'm excited to show you guys. I might have to change angles just because my phone is dying. I filmed two videos before this, and I usually take a while to do my intros because I don't like having it, well, I stutter a lot. So I'll be right back to show you the book briefly. I haven't looked through the book a lot, but I do like Doreen Virtue's guidebooks overall. They don't give too much information, but it's not too little either. I feel like it's just right. So it does give information about the deck, how to use the deck. Well, these are other decks that she has. What I really fell in love with also, besides the imagery, is that the animals are specific. So, like the Empress, Angora, Rabbit, Strength, Maasai, Lion, and Lamb. So, it isn't just a cat or a dog. And as I mentioned before, they do use the seasons. They do have the 3-card spread in here. I'm not going to go too much into detail of this deck. And the Princess, Prince, Queen, and King for the Page, Knight, Queen, and Cups. And this is cleansing it before using it. And asking questions. And honestly, I haven't looked that much into this book, but I have noticed that it does give a good amount of information, even about the animal too. There's a little information about them. It's interesting that the meaning on the card isn't in the book. It does give a similar meaning, but it's not quite the same. I do like the little embellishments that they have too. I think it's a nice touch. And I would say that I think that the minors tend to have a little more information than the majors, or at least the ones that I've noticed. It could be different for other ones because, again, I haven't looked thoroughly through this book. And then it talks about the suits before getting into the actual cards, which is nice. And then there's the back. Do it close up in case you guys want to read that. So this is the back of the card, also the Queen of Spring, which is a little bit, well, with the colors, I think it's more amplified. And honestly, I feel like I do love the backings, but if the whole deck was like this, I probably wouldn't like it as much because it's a little bright for me. I do tend to like more toned down colors, but still have a vibrancy to it. So, I guess not too in your face, if you guys know what I mean. But it's beautiful nonetheless. And this is the Devil card. And I do like the perspective that it gives. Because this is what I mean, that it doesn't seem too positive. You may feel like you're trapped in your situation, but that's not true. Be careful not to overly focus on material wealth and break free from negative thinking. So it seems pretty straightforward, and it does have the Siamese cat on there. So again, with specific animals, there are a couple of cats in here. And the reason why I brought out one card is because the cards would start slipping or going down because I'm on my bed. So I'll put this off to the side and I'll keep going. These are colored, by the way, colored borders. I was actually considering cutting off the interpretations, but I feel like I'm just going to leave it there. Because I do like reading them. Sometimes, I'm not going to lie, I don't feel like interpreting the cards. It's nice to just read it. So I like it. So blue, 4 cups, and summer. And the text is italicized. They do have like things underlined and go a little faster. There's definitely sweetness, and I do love that with this animal deck. I love animal decks. But I mainly go for like cats, because I do relate to them a lot. The reason why I was talking about the backings as I pulled this card out is because for this type of coloration, there was a trade on Instagram, and somebody was trading a Baba Studios Bohemian Cats Tarot, which does have similar colorations, but the animals or the cats in the deck are, they have a human element to them. So I mean, I do love the cat decks, but I'm not sure how much I would love it or get into it, because I like them to be in more of a natural state. So this is where I change my positions. I'll be right back because my phone is actually not doing very well on the battery. As I was saying, with the Bohemian Cats Tarot, I feel like I wouldn't get as much use out of it. It's mainly with the coloration on the deck. So winter is the swords in here, and there's also the keywords at the top. So this would be the Page of Swords. I do like using this as more of a energy cards, or like to put the reading in a certain direction. Because I still don't really, well, I wouldn't consider this an oracle deck, but you can definitely feel an oracle is a type of energy to it. But as I say a lot, that tarot is a form of oracle. Anyway, this is a cute one. Well, they're all cute. The Abyssinian cat. Then you notice that, well, I'm rough with my cards, and honestly, I like when my cards look worn in. Well, mainly for my mass-produced decks. Some of my self-published decks, I do that too. Also, like my 3rd edition of the Dame Darcy, because it looks like that cardstock would look nice worn in, but other ones I'm just like, that was a little expensive for that. But I do like having my decks look like I use them, especially my Mystical Cats Tarot. That one's very worn in. I got that recently too. I feel like about a week or two before I got this deck, actually. And I feel like it was a week. It was 2 weeks about. It was just that the cardstock was very thin. I love thin cardstock, but that was a hair too thin than what I would like, because it felt very unstable, or I guess flimsy. I don't like saying flimsy because it's still very usable, and I still like the cardstock. It's actually a little bit thinner than the Dame Darcy. The Dame Darcy is the thinnest that I would go, and I love that cardstock. So I was actually thinking about laminating the deck. But then I thought that would be my first officially very worn in deck, and it looks very, very worn in so far, and I'm actually kind of proud of it. I love the Pomeranian dog because I have a Pomeranian Terrier, which is a little, well, it's a medium size, the one that I have. It's at my parents' house because she connects a lot with my dad. I just love the images for this, and I just spent a lot of time talking about another deck. Oops. I really love this wheel. And if you saw the pentacles, they're autumn and they're green. And spring again is wands. Sorry, I got soda for the first time in a while because I ran out of my drink. Well, technically I had a drink. I got this drink and I've never gotten it before. It was the coconut milk, and I'm not sure if it's spoiled, but it started, it tasted like carbonation, which was a little strange. Well, it's not, I don't know what it is. It's not, I don't think it's milk. It's very watered down, coconut flavored milk water. That's how I kind of describe it as. So I'm not quite sure what happened. Luckily it wasn't regular milk, or else that would be very sour. I love looking at the new animals, or the animals that I don't really know a lot about too. You can definitely read this deck without reading the meanings at the bottom, or at least I feel like you can. I do. And also like from the pictures and how the card feels and what you're getting out of it. Also with the different image symbols on the cards. Like I just can't get enough of like the illustrations that are in this deck, which when I saw this deck I was like, I really want to get it. Because I never, as I said, this is my first Doreen Virtue Tarot deck. And, I love it. But, so this is my card, for the Libra. I tend to look at this card. They're usually similar type of images with the scales and stuff. In balance, which is fine. I do tend to I like to look at the Nine of Pentacles, and I like to look at mainly the Lover's card and the Lover's card, and there's the other card that's not coming to me, which is the cards that usually greet me the most. I'm going to change positions really quickly, and in the meantime I'm going to think about the card that another card that I look up frequently. Well, one of them is the Five of Pentacles. That's one of my favorite cards, but that's not the card I was thinking about, so I'll be right back. So the Queen of Swords, because that's also associated with the Libra too. I do have a couple of them that I really like looking at. I love this. Princess of Autumn. It's so cute. The tabby cat. I love the rabbits too. I think those are like my top two that I like looking at. The Empress is my card of the month. I've been getting that so frequently lately. And everything's happening quicker than it has been in a long time. I think because I've been focusing on myself. There is a bit of a gash in the card. I don't know if I did that, but it's fine with me. Up here. I used to want an Angora rabbit. They tend to be harder to find. My rabbit was a lot. And I love squirrels too. I've been getting the Five of Winter a lot lately also. But I also feel like there's a type of adversity that happens Well, especially when I got my, what was it? My bartending license, which was really awesome, because there was this guy there. He was training to be, like, he was an instructor, but he was more in training, and he was, like, second-guessing me, like, saying, oh, I don't know if you're ready or not, because, like, I'm not the most vocal person, but I kind of felt like the underdog, because, like, there was this other person that was going to take the, that was taking the test too, and he seemed more of like the popular guy that everybody just like talked to and stuff, which is fine because I'm used to being the exact opposite. So it was like cool, because I mean, people didn't really know what to expect because I'm not much of a talker. So maybe he was reading off of what he saw. I might get into it in another video. I'm not sure how other bartending schools are, but there's a lot to learn in a short amount of time. It definitely felt like a college course. Well, it is a school, so it's like a trade school. And the test was, you had to make 10 random drinks that were given to you. And a lot of them had like different substitutions for different liquors or liqueurs or something. And you had to explain how you made it also, and the garnishes and everything. So in the short amount of time, you learned over 200 drinks, and then you had a textbook as well. I want to say soft cover. I'm not a soft cover textbook, because usually when you think of textbooks, they're usually hardcovers. But that's overgeneralizing anyway. So, this one's a pretty one. I just think they're so cute. Oh, this looks like the polar bear from the Coke commercial. I don't know if they still have that anymore. This reminds me of the Little Mermaid. And I love whales. You don't really see a lot of whales in decks. And the ones that I do see, they just don't, they don't really stand out to me. But I really like that whale with the crown on it. I know that's not realistic, but I really liked it. Well, I really like it. This is my card. I like how that has the leopard on it. And I also get the strength card a lot overall. I haven't actually gotten it in this deck yet, but I do get it frequently. The tower card I've been getting a lot, like a lot recently. This is a cute one. And I actually got the 5 of Summer the other day. What? Oh, that's a fish. Because in the Page of Cups, that makes sense. This looks like Harry Potter combined with like Greek Greece. And this is the last card. So I talked about a lot of random stuff. I hope that you guys didn't mind. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you liked the walkthrough, and it may lead you into like wanting to use the deck too. I don't like usually saying that to purchase the deck or anything, because like I don't want to say how people should spend their money, but I really like the deck. So again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in another video.